Have you ever wondered why some people seem to succeed effortlessly, while others struggle despite giving their best? The truth is, talent alone is never enough. There's a way to rise above mediocrity, to turn your potential into mastery, and to leave a mark in whatever you do. My dear friends, being the best is not about luck. It's not about waiting for opportunities to come to you. It's about adopting certain principles, certain habits, and a mindset that shapes excellence. The greatest achievers in every field, sports, business, arts or service, don't start out extraordinary. They become extraordinary because they understand the rules of mastery. Today, I want to share with you 5 timeless rules that can help you become the best at anything you choose. These rules are simple, but they are powerful. They require discipline, focus, and a willingness to grow. If you embrace them, you won't just improve, you will transform your life. Rule 1, master the basics. Repeatedly, the power of consistency. My dear friends, greatness is not born from occasional effort. It is forged in the quiet, repetitive acts that no one sees. Success is not a destination, it's a lifestyle. The true test of being the best is not how you perform on your best days, but how you show up on the days when your energy is gone, your motivation is low, and no one is watching. Consistency is not passion, it is discipline. Passion lights the spark. Discipline keeps the fire burning. Feelings are temporary, but habits are permanent. You may not control how motivated you feel, but you always control what you do next. Let me share a story. A young writer wanted to publish a book, yet some days the words didn't flow. He stared at blank pages, frustrated, doubting himself. One day, his teacher said, "Judge your effort not by inspiration, but by whether you showed up." He began to write even when he didn't feel like it. A year later, he realized the words written on the hardest days were the ones that taught him the most. Consistency transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Success comes not from what you do once, but from what you do repeatedly. Think of water dripping on stone. It doesn't make a difference at first, but over time it carves through rock. The sun rises daily not because it feels like it, but because it is consistent. The river flows not for applause, but because it is its nature. The best athletes train even when tired. The best artists create even when uninspired. The best leaders serve even when unrecognized. And here's a secret: consistency builds confidence. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, your self-belief grows. So when your mind whispers, "Not today," answer, "Just one more step." Because those small steps, repeated daily, become miles over time. The most consistent win not because they're the most talented, they win because they never quit. Rule 2, focus on progress. Not perfection. The freedom to grow perfection silently kills more dreams than failure ever could. So many people never start because they are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect confidence. But perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist in nature, in life, or in growth. What exists is progress, slow, messy, imperfect, yet forward moving. I once met a young man who hesitated to start his YouTube channel because he wanted everything perfect. His camera, his speech, his background, his editing. A year later, he had uploaded nothing. I told him gently, "You are not waiting for perfection, you are hiding behind it." Perfectionism is often fear masquerading as standards, fear of judgment, fear of failing, fear of being inadequate. But progress requires courage. Every expert you admire was once a beginner. The first time they spoke, their voice shook. The first time they performed, they made mistakes. But they didn't stop, they progressed. Progress says, do it imperfectly, but do it anyway. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes feedback. Every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. The seed doesn't become a tree overnight. It bends, stretches, survives storms, and grows quietly, patiently, imperfectly. Perfection paralyzes. Progress empowers. Stop waiting to be flawless. Start daring to grow. Celebrate small wins. They accumulate into monumental transformation. Progress transforms you from the inside. Perfection is the illusion that hides your potential. Progress is the reality that nurtures it. Rule 3, build unshakable discipline. Discipline is the unseen backbone of excellence. Talent may open doors, but discipline walks through them. Most people wait to feel ready, to be inspired, to be in the perfect mood. The best in any field don't rely on feelings, they rely on habits. Repetition is not glamorous. It is the quiet rhythm that builds mastery. A young martial artist once grew impatient, practicing the same kick. His teacher said, "I fear not the man who practices 10,000 kicks once, but the man who practices one kick 10,000 times." Mastery is depth, not variety. Repetition shapes character. The first attempt is awkward. The 100th is smoother. The 1000th becomes effortless. Greatness is not built in moments of excitement, but in the steady rhythm of persistence. Repetition teaches patience, presence, and humility. It polishes your craft until excellence becomes second nature. Even nature follows repetition. Waves crash tirelessly on rocks, carving through stone. The wind shapes dunes day after day. The sun paints the sky with regularity. Repetition is not monotony, it is refinement. And the same principle applies to you. Your daily efforts, small steps, repeated practice, they all compound into extraordinary achievement. Rule 4, surround yourself with excellence. Your environment is a silent force in your life. It either lifts you or limits you. Spend time with complainers, and their doubt becomes yours. Spend time with visionaries, and their courage becomes yours. Excellence is contagious. The people in your life are like soil around a seed. The same effort will blossom in fertile soil, but wither in poor soil. Surround yourself with those who challenge, inspire, and elevate you. They act as mirrors, reflecting your potential back to you, and as windows showing the world you can become. Remember, excellence is not just about the people around you, it is also about the standards you set for yourself. Live with integrity, discipline, and purpose. Become the light you want to attract. Outgrow some people along the way, not because you are better, but because your direction is changing. Some are meant for your history, not your destiny. If you can't find the right people yet, use solitude to refine yourself. The right company will recognize your energy when you are ready. Excellence spreads when you are surrounded by it. You rise without realizing it. Protect your circle. Choose wisely. Your growth depends on it. Rule 5. Stay humble when you rise. Strength in silence. True greatness is quiet. It is the refusal to let your own thoughts become a prison. Staying humble when you rise is not about ignoring negativity. It is about redirecting it. It is about learning to question your thoughts rather than accepting them blindly. When your mind whispers, "You are not enough," ask yourself, "Who told me that? Based on what?" When it says, "This is impossible," remind it, "Was everything great before someone dared to make it possible?" Thoughts are not facts, they are patterns, and patterns can be changed. Science tells us your brain responds to the words you speak to yourself. That is why affirmations, gratitude, and kind self-talk are not just motivational, they are tools for rewiring your mind. Every time you speak to yourself with kindness, you create new pathways. You teach your mind to see opportunity where it once saw fear. Most people are kind to others but harsh to themselves. They encourage friends, forgive others, yet punish themselves for past mistakes. But imagine if you treated yourself with the same compassion. Imagine saying, It's okay, you're learning, keep going, you will get there. That simple shift can change everything. There will always be voices around you, opinions, judgments, noise, but the loudest voice is the one inside you. If that voice believes in you, nothing outside can break you. You can face failure and still rise. You can face rejection and remain steady. True strength is not the absence of fear, it is speaking truth louder than fear. So train your inner dialogue, fill it with gratitude. Speak to yourself with encouragement and compassion. Each morning, before the world begins to speak, say, I am capable, I am growing, I am enough. Each night, remind yourself, I tried, I learned, I will rise again. Your outer world reflects your inner world. The calmer your mind, the more powerful your actions. The kinder your self-talk, the more confident your journey. You do not need a perfect life to feel strong. You only need a voice inside that refuses to give up. Master that voice, and you will master your life. Have you noticed how your energy shifts depending on the company you keep? Spend time with people who complain, and suddenly your mood drops. Spend time with those who are constantly negative, and their doubt becomes your doubt. But spend time with people who lift you, who speak ideas rather than gossip, who see solutions rather than problems, and you feel lighter, inspired, clearer. That is the invisible power of your environment. No one becomes the best by walking alone. You might begin your journey alone, but to reach your highest potential, you need the right people around you. The people in your circle are like soil around a seed. The same seed can blossom or wither depending on where it is planted. Surround yourself with weeds, negativity, laziness, ego, distraction, and even the strongest seed will struggle. But surround yourself with light, encouragement, and excellence, and you will flourish. Let me share a story. A young student once came to a teacher and said, I want to be wise. Teach me your secrets. The teacher took him to a garden and pointed to two plants, one tall and vibrant, the other small and weak. They were planted the same day, the teacher said, given the same water, the same care. But one grew beside a tall tree that blocked the sunlight, and the other stood where light could reach freely. Greatness, my child, is not only about effort, it is also about your environment. The truth is simple. People either drain you or develop you. Surround yourself with those who challenge you, elevate you, and reflect your potential. Protect your circle as carefully as you protect your dreams. Excellence is not a solo journey. You rise faster, stronger, and higher when you walk with the right people, learn from the right teachers, and remain humble in your pursuit. Every rule, consistency, progress over perfection, discipline, surrounding yourself with excellence and humility interlocks to form a life of mastery. Remember, the people you keep are mirrors or windows. Mirrors show who you are, windows show who you can become. Choose the ones that open your vision, elevate your energy, and expand your potential. Growth is contagious, excellence is magnetic, and your journey filled with discipline, focus, humility, and persistence will transform not only you but everyone you touch. So start today. Show up when it's hard, progress when it's imperfect, repeat until mastery is inevitable. Surround yourself with light, speak kindly to yourself, stay humble, because the journey to being the best at anything is not about shortcuts. It's about becoming the person who is unstoppable, unshakable, and unapologetically excellent. And that, my friends, is where true greatness begins.